See, I wanted to create the perfect life, and the reason I wanted to do this is because in the real world, it's a bit too restrictive. I can't give into my intrusive thoughts to kidnap somebody if I really wanted to. So instead, I decided I wanted to create a simulation where anything is possible, and all I wanted to know is, if I had everything, would I finally be happy? Because in the real world, I'm not very happy. Now on the first day, there was 4 things I wanted to do, but to get to the second one, I needed to complete the first one first. So I needed money, and a lot of it. And I wasn't going to get a job or sell myself online for some money. No, I had a better plan. Yeah, I kidnapped somebody because, you know, in the beginning I said I wanted to kidnap somebody in real life. FBI, open up! Which was a joke. I also used them for ransom as well, but this wasn't going to cut it. If I wanted to get to my second plan, I needed a lot more money than this. Now, since I needed more money, I decided I was going to rob a house. I shot and murdered this man. This little girl tried to kill me. I shot the little girl's father as well. The robbery was a success, but it wasn't, because I only got $10,000 from everything that I stole. It was still far away from plan 2. I was back to the drawing board. No, actually, no, I don't need to go to a drawing board because I already know plan 3. I was going to rob a bank. Robbing a bank should give me all the money that I need. Finally, we can move on to plan 2. For that, I need a team that can take the fall if this all fails. This is Mike, Sam, and Smith, 3 of my best friends, and they agreed to rob this bank with me. We're gonna split the money and lay low for 3 days. We slept, and then it was time. The bank robbery was pretty easy, but it was only until I seen that money I had to make a different plan. At least I had the money for plan 2, but I couldn't move on just yet. The police was investigating the bank, and they found my 3 friends. For some time, it looked like everything pointed back at me, but no, they couldn't find anything, so they dropped it, I guess. So it was time to move on to plan 2. With all the money I have now, I opened up my very own restaurant to bring in more money. I wanted to be the first billionaire in my simulation. Meanwhile, this detective that I created for this scene seems to actually be investigating this bank robbery. With 2 of my friends being dead and 1 of them being missing, I would think that this fake detective would have just gave up. But however, it was time for me to open up my restaurant. And I watched as all of these people poured in. I spent 2 hours just working on my restaurant, and on the 3rd hour, money just started pouring in. I was making hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions. And at the end, I felt even closer to my perfect life. I just needed to do one thing to get an inch closer. Now this was perfect, but I felt like something was missing. I have the money, the house, but still I feel like I was missing something. Family. I was missing a family, and to make this all fit, I needed to start a family. So the first girl I seen, I made her my wife. Well, after an hour of winning them over. After we had our first baby, and I named them Augustus. Then it went missing. I don't know what happened. It was here and now it wasn't. No worries, we just had another baby. I named them Slimeback.
And low key, my baby look kinda good.
I don't know how these babies keep growing 2 legs, but it ran away. I had my 3rd baby, and this one was not gonna run away. I named them TaSilva, and to make sure they wasn't running away, I locked them in the room. And what I mean by that is, I took the door away. Okay, let me stop. I'm not a bad parent. He put the door back. For the next 3 hours of my life, I raised my kid. And now that they were all grown up, they went off to college. Now I face a new problem. What's next? I lived the perfect life. I was able to do things, get away with things with no consequence. And now, I'm actually kind of bored. I think I did everything I wanted to do. And I really didn't have a plan on what I was gonna do once I have everything I wanted. I went to my car, drove down to the city, and went out for a walk. Just to revisit some of the old places I once knew, like my old home, and the bank that I killed 2 of my friends at, just to get to where I am now. All the things that I've done. And at the end, nothing. As I walked through the city, I seen how pointless it was to have everything. Because once you have everything, there's nothing left to work for. And yeah, I did a lot of things in the simulation that I thought was fun, things that I wouldn't really do or attempt in real life. And yeah, it was no consequence. I made my way back home, only to find that the past always find a way to the future. That was cringy. I thought that would sound cool. Okay, enough with the symbolism and words. I came back and my wife was dead. And I also forgot to tell you guys that the house that I robbed in the beginning, the guy that I shot, he didn't die, and he also was the mob boss of this group called the Golden Ring. He found me. He came to my home and he killed my wife. Here I am getting all sentimental saying that there is no consequence in my simulation. Now, if this is possible, if this mob is trying to get back at me, they're gonna try to kill them. So my them and they child is off at college, and I had to get to them before they do. So I got into my car and I sped over to this college. Now, since they moved away, I didn't know where to find them. All I knew is that this is the college that they go to. I knocked on every dorm door just to try to find them. And honestly, I was shit out of luck. It was either 1 or 2 things. They were dead, or they just never went to college at all, and they just off somewhere doing drugs. I don't know. But if I couldn't find them, they couldn't find them. So that was perfect. So I decided to get the hell out of here, go far away, get entirely out of the city altogether. I arrived at my cabin, which is on the dark side of the world, where the locals say that werewolves walk among them. Still, I had to keep my head down. I spent a week in this cabin, and I had the feeling that this mob was getting closer. Now, I didn't tell anybody where I was. I was hesitant to open the door because if this was the mob, I was fucked. Before I even opened the door, I heard siren. Then that's when I knew my perfect life was over. My wife was dead, my son was gone, everything that I worked for was really for nothing. And honestly, this was a life lesson for me. I don't want everything in life, because if I have it all, then what's the point of living?